So if you missed the first part, this is the second part of the speedrun explained for the boss race, getting from Act 1 to 3 as quickly as possible. I came 5th. I was 5th monk. I was 47th overall. Had a couple of weeks of practice. I'm just going to explain what I'm doing. I'll explain some layouts here and there, but this is not a layout guide. I will have that video out before 0.2.0. But in the meantime, let's go through this. So at the start of Act 2, we're just entering this area and we've pretty much got all the gems we need. We've got our 4 bells and now we're just looking for the boss. Now this area, I guess I will throw in a little bit of layout stuff, but from what I've seen, the town will lean in a direction like this or this. And if you just hug the same wall, if it leans, say, to the right, you hug the right-hand wall and follow it around. And we're looking for just a canyon. And there's not a whole lot to say in this area. There is a lot in Act 2, but these first areas are pretty uninteresting initially. But here's the boss. Take this guy down very quickly, and then gonna head back to the caravan. And now I'll show you a little trick. So just swapping out gems, checking vendors. For people who might have missed the previous part, we are on the struggle bus with our weapon at this stage. So first thing we do, we can go to the Halani Gates, and little trick here. So here you just need to actually run close enough to her to trigger the little thing above her head, and then you can run back. You don't actually have to speak to her. And from here, go back, and then I'm checking again. I think I was in desperation mode with my weapon. Here we go to the Mawdun Quarry. And again, just running through here, trying to make sure that we're getting enough XP along the way. So throughout Act 2, my thinking is I need to be around level 24, 25 before we get to the Dreadnought. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting maybe a level per area in terms of XP management, just killing enough stuff. When I was first starting and practicing, I was running past too much stuff. What ends up happening is you actually end up going slow, because often what happens, you'll just draw huge packs of monsters. They'll kill you and you won't kill stuff and you won't get experience. So I remember once I got to the Dreadnought at level 22 and it was not good. I'll explain why once we get there. But for here, it is just, we're just running through, finding the exit, not a whole lot to say, and into the Mawdun Mine. There, I think I leveled up, so I'm checking the vendor again for upgrades, just making sure I have enough life. In Act 2, you really are looking for lightning resistance. There's, especially in Spires of Deshar and also the Titan Grotto and Jamanra as well. All those bosses you need a lot of lightning resistance to get through it. So there I just actually pop back to Act 1 looking for some kind of upgrade. And here, just swapping out the flasks. I think did I forget to refill it? Doesn't matter. Oh, and then I don't even go to the checkpoint. Pro tech. Why? The checkpoint is literally right there. Oh, I leveled up. It's fine. I think over here I immediately go back to town. So if you have good gear, you can get away with not checking the vendor so regularly, but if you're in struggle mode, really just every time you level up, check the vendor, make sure. Now this area, again, I'll show you a little bit of layout stuff, but the boss, we're going to find it right at the top. So you're going to come in from one of the sides at the bottom, and then it opens up into a big diamond-shaped area, boss straight up at the top. So I'm just thinking go up, 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 and you'll see we find it pretty comfortably running through. And for her, I remember this, I botched it, so I restarted the fight. Yeah, you really want to one-shot her, because if she starts doing her swingy phase, where she starts swinging explodey things at you, that can just one-shot you. And I think my fire res at this point is probably negative, so drop the bells, bonk her. All right, and then just salvaging stuff. Very important tip is just making sure that you are salvaging. I'm primarily looking for whetstones and artificer's orbs. So I'm picking up quality weapons and socketed weapons, and also checking vendors for those, because the idea is we're gonna get for this Act 3 run, the highest tier weapon we get is a Steelpoint staff, which we get at level 28. So I just want to make sure I have enough resources to go for a decent level 28 staff. This area, we're looking for the Six Sisters. It is a pretty obvious winding staircase, and it even says Six Sisters at the top. Again, just killing stuff, trying to get drops, trying to get XP. There, I checked that chest. I remember thinking, oh, this is a dead end, but I'm going to check that chest. We hit that alchemy, which is very, very big. And now I'm looking for Six Sisters, and it should be right here. Yep, so at the top of the screen, it says the Six Sisters. And now, let me show you a little cool trick. So let me pause here. So at this decree of imprisonment, it's going to be a, what do you call it, like a crossways intersection. And on the one side, it's a little bit tricky to see, but you see these little paper seals on the wall? Those lead you to Balbala. So if you want to do your ascendancy, go that way. Otherwise, go the opposite direction. So there, I see that, and I'm like, okay, let's go this way. And then we're just running out, trying to find the entrance to Halani Gates. Now, Halani Gates, this has a superset layout. I can actually, let me just show you. Again, not a layout guide, but it has an identical layout with these three bridges where you cross, go straight down, cross, go straight down, cross, and there's the boss. In SSF, it is angled to the right like this. This might change for 0.2.0 where they shuffle these around, but it is the same layout. If you superimpose these on one another and just rotate them, they're all perfectly aligned, but they're just facing a different direction. So here, I remember killing that guy, level up, check the boss, check the vendors. Always just checking the vendors, making sure I'm getting what I need, looking for flat damage to attacks, any decent weapon, resistances, life, all of that. And pushing through Halani Gates. This area, I'm going to zoom through. Not a whole lot to say, but after we do this, we're going to get a level 7 uncut skill gem, which becomes our Leap Slam. And for Leap Slam, we need level 22 with 52 strength. So here, I'm just trying to make sure we're going to get to that level 22 fairly soon. As soon as possible without spending too much time. So we want to have our Leap Slam by the time we get to, probably I would say at least by Deshar, hopefully sooner. Keth is, in this area, what we're looking for is the Kabbalah. She gives us 2 skill points for killing her. And again, just killing stuff, making sure we're getting some XP. I'm trying to level up so I can kill the boss. Here's a nice pack. So I'm not killing just every single mob, but if you get these nice swarms where there's a couple of magic enemies maybe, or a rare boss, that's when I'm stopping. You kind of like group them up, then you take them on. So you're not doing individual monsters, but you kind of group them up. That is a bit more risky, but there I'm like, okay, wait, no, never mind. That was like a double rare pack. And here, okay. I know, by the way, after studying Keth, let me just show you this, right? So there's this tile. This one, it looks like, you can see it. It looks like a head with the little ears and the top of the head. I actually found that right here. I found that. I didn't know at the time, but that means the boss is like right here, right here. Or actually, it's either to the left or the right, but I think, yeah, there we go. So if you see that head tile, it means that you found Balbala. However, I think the correct way to run this zone is to run along the outside edge, try find the exit. If you don't find it, actually wait, let me reword that. So the correct way I would say to run this area would be to run along one of the outside edges until you find the exit checkpoint and hope that you're going to find Balbala along the way. If you don't, you take the checkpoint from the exit to the start and run the other outside edge and then hope to find Balbala. And if you don't find her then what you do is you check those two starting areas. So let me just show you again. So from what I've seen, it seems that she has these these 4 spawn locations. So you check the outside. If she's not there, take the checkpoint, check there. If she's not there, go back and check there. I got lucky and I saw that she was there. So we're heading on to the Lost City. Now, in the Lost City, in here, there is an uncut spirit gem level 6 or 7, depending the order in which you do it. Again, leveling up, checking the vendors. So at level 20, we get a Crescent Quarterstaff, which is the next tier up. I'm hoping, praying we get a decent Crescent Quarterstaff. We got a white one. I don't remember when I got this. At some point, we got a staff. So here, for the sake of just showing you some layout stuff. So in this area, what we're looking for, there's these 2 sections and then these little bridges that separate the 2 sections and then the boss tile. And also there is this thing, by the way, that monster, that giant bug that I ran past, that thing is very deadly. And I think it only drops like a magic jewel. So it's cool looking, but it's not worth dying for. So normally I will just run away from this guy. And now I think at this point I was looking for the sarcophagus, which drops that uncut spirit gem. Don't remember if I found it. But again, just killing stuff, making sure we're getting enough XP so that we can get closer to level 22. There's a tomb with the uncut spirit gem. Level up, I'm getting Wind Dancer. And getting Wind Dancer means that because I'm already running Herald Vice, I'm going to need another 30 spirits. So we're going to be looking for that on chests, primarily from vendors. So again, every time I level up, checking the vendor until I have what I need. Here's that V bridge that I spoke about. Because I feel like I'm quite limited on Orbs of Transmutation and my damage is okay, I'm not wasting the currency. So I think I might have mentioned in the previous video, but you can end up in a very bad situation where you get to the Dreadnought and you get that level 28 staff and you don't have the currency to craft it because you've been using all your currency on lower level staves or belts or rings or whatever. So this is an element of currency management that takes practice and just knowing what you need and knowing if what you have is good enough. And it's a little bit, it's tricky to explain what that is, but you get to a point where you can feel it. Like my damage is okay. I can get through with this. Therefore, I do not need to just randomly waste my currency. Over here, I'm going for this Offering of Fire. On League Sot, if you're just taking your sweet time, might not need to do this, but in this case, I really needed fire resistance. We're going to need fire resistance in Act 3. So here you get to pick one of 3. There's a ruby, a lightning topaz ring, and a sapphire ring for cold res. I'm grabbing the ruby ring. Obviously, if you have decent fire res already or a good ruby ring, go for the topaz ring, or even you could even go for the sapphire ring. But cold res, I don't feel like is much of a problem. I'm trying to think, not really. This area, I remember getting a bit lost. This is I can see it now. There, I can see. Oh, this is annoying to watch back. So this layout is, again, two sections separated by a pair of bridges. Depending on the direction in which you cross the bridge, it gives you an indication of where the boss room is. So the boss room seems to spawn always at that angle. So you can see here's one of these bridges. I know I'm going from north to south. So then I know, okay, the boss is going to be in this sort of eastern quadrant. So I go that way. So for this boss, not the actual fight, but after we kill him, what we're going to do is just run straight ahead. We're not going to wait for his death animation. We just run straight ahead and we're going to go click this thing because there's a bit of yapping and animation happening. So we click her, click the cinders, click that, and then she goes on fire. We go back, grab the loot, get a rare crescent staff, and then we're going to have to run back, grab that, and then go to town. So it's just like a process where you are trying to be as efficient as possible with your time. You're not standing there waiting for the boss to drop his stuff and then standing there waiting for the goddess to be ignited. You're doing everything simultaneously. So here, I think also just checking for, I know I'm going quickly, but it's a lot of the same. I'm just checking the vendors for spirit, resistance, life, a good weapon, maybe a ring like that. I got a decent ring. We're going to need, like I said, 52 strength, which is a lot. And I think, what was I looking for here? Yeah, I remember being a little bit bummed on this run. Mastodon Badlands. This area is kind of just follow the edge and hope. And I think at this point I'm level 21. So I'm thinking, all right, let's get that level 22 so that we can get in that leap slam. And just following the edge. And I'm going to speed through because this is just me running through, killing stuff. And there is some stuff to talk about with the boss. So there we go. This, let me just show you, boss of this area is, it's usually in a straight line from the entrance. So you can see I come out from it at like this angle. So I didn't actually know this when I was doing this run. I should have just run straight across. And I think we'll find it there. So there is a 1 minute death timer if you die during the race. So when I'm getting into a hairy situation, I'm doing the thing where I escape, respawn a checkpoint, escape. I think I am coincidentally going in the correct direction. There we go. I think this is the right way. Should be approximately in line. Aha. Okay, so that one wasn't like exactly in line, but we found it. So for this boss, the idea behind it is you want to try and kill them, each of the two guys simultaneously, or at least very close to one another, because once you kill the one, the other gets enraged. So here I'm trying to keep them close so that I can take them down simultaneously, or at least, yeah, in very quick succession. Like this, get the one down, and then get the other guy down. I think we got it. Out of mana. Use mana, please. And then you see he's using one of his friend's skills. So I actually did hit level 22. We equipped the leap slam. Now head back to town. Act 1 is very dense. Act 2 is just finding more of what I need. So let's just see. I think that weapon I saw I might actually grab. So evasion rating. Yeah. So in Act 3, having decent evasion rating is very helpful because I want to use Wind Bouncer, which gives us more evasion rating. If you don't have a foundation of a decent amount of evasion rating, there's nothing to scale. So there's been a few times where I've got a chest with spirit, but it's armor and energy shield, and then I use Wind Dancer, and it's just like I have no evasion to scale. So what's the point? So at this point, looking out for just a decent amount of evasion, and then I actually got a half decent staff. Well, it's pretty bad, but I mean, you see what we've been working with so far. Now heading into Crown of Stone. So this is the Titan area, Valley of the Titans. We are now leap slamming. So I'm not leap slamming over everything, but again, you can see I'm just trying to group mobs and take them on in packs. rather than just trying to do one by one. Those big skeletons, those can fall on you, kill you, ruin your day. But here I'm actually just running the outside edge, grabbing this rower coat, a lot of evasion rating on that. And we're looking for these 3 ancient seals. So the ancient seals, seemingly, there are 3, and fairly often all 3 will spawn on the outside edge of the map. However, there is a big gorge that spawns in the middle of the area like this. And sometimes you will get one that spawns on the inside of the gorge. So I'm just running the outside edge. If I find 3, great. If I don't find 3 and I only find 2, then I'm going to run around the edge of that gorge. That's how I'm thinking about it. And here I died. I'm using this time to just update my flasks, add in any supports, trying to not waste the time. Here we should find the entrance to the Titan Grotto. There I was upset because respawn at checkpoint. Oh, I changed my flask and it didn't refill. So again, that mistake of, if you're going to change out your flask, make sure you do it near a checkpoint so that it refills. Otherwise, this happens. Luckily, I needed to go back to town. I'd leveled up. Here should be the entrance to the Titan Grotto. It's normally in a straight line from the entrance. Approximately. There we go. That's not it. I think this is it, actually. So continuing looking. And this area, again, I'm just gonna speed through it because the next area there's more to talk about. So running through, grabbing all of those, and here I get there we go. Like I said, it's normally in a fairly straight line from the entrance. Now, Titan Grotto. This area is not just the boss is scary, but there are these little floaty lightning mobs that can absolutely delete you if you're not paying attention. So for this area, killing stuff when I can, but a lot of just leap slamming. I'm just thinking, okay, I need to be about level 25 before we get to the Dreadnought. So if I feel my XP is good, I'm going to be skipping this instead, so that I can rather farm up in another less deadly area, although most of the areas are pretty deadly at this point. Now, Titan Grotto laid out sort of like this, obviously with winding paths. There, as you see, got wrecked by those little lightning guys. Boss gonna spawn on the opposite side, probably here, or here. So I'm just thinking, I'm going this way, or I have to reverse it. I'm going that way, yeah. So I'm gonna get to the boss, and I've got a pro tip for you for this boss. So here again, just doing stuff while I'm waiting, running to the boss. And now for Zalmarath, this boss, you probably had some struggles with him, but if you stand in this position, sort of, imagine the arena's like a clock. If you stand at the 12 o'clock position and attack from there, then usually you are pretty safe. There are some attacks that can hit you, but things like this, you see that like just completely misses me. That misses me. I'm just staying in this position, trying to get him to his next phase, right? So once he goes to his next phase, you can keep attacking him, but it has a tendency to bug him out. So if you've ever fought this boss and suddenly he is just unkillable, it's normally because you're damaging him while he's phasing. So that'll probably get patched, but currently I've had that happen where I've had to fight this guy like 6 times. So after his first phase, we're moving from the 12 o'clock position to the more like 2-3 o'clock position and fighting him from there. So you'll see the attack misses again. So just remember, like 12 and then 3. You're just saying just off to his right hand side. After this fight, don't get complacent because he spawns in a whole lot of his little lightning guys, or he usually does. Not today. But there's your Zalmarath tip. Again, just checking vendors in case I leveled up, selling stuff. One thing I'm not sure if I have mentioned it, but just the balance of gold management, currency management with selling. So for salvaging, the things I'm salvaging are, like I said, quality weapons and socketed weapons and armors, so I can get those. I need I need 2 Artificer's Orbs for my level 28 weapon, and then I need, I think, about 6 Blacksmith's Whetstones for my final weapon, between like 6 and 8. So that's what I'm salvaging. Rares, I would sell rares for gold, unless if I felt I was very short on Regal Orbs, then I would start salvaging for Regal Shards. I had one situation where I got to, I keep mentioning the Dreadnought. You'll see why I keep mentioning it, but I got to the Dreadnought, I didn't have Regals, and I wasn't able to craft a weapon, and I was just thinking, I wish I had paid attention to my Regal Orb situation sooner, so that I knew that I should have been salvaging rare items instead of selling them. There, Deshar is, on a monk, kind of brutal. If you're playing warrior, you just leap slamming and bone shattering everything. But this area, I think I just leap slam through this. This area scares me, man. It's so deadly. If you do end up taking speedrunning, you'll probably, this is an area where you might get frustrated the first few times you do it. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I have my leap slam in this area. And what we are looking for in here is the Fallen Dakara Warrior. So she is going to, there's a corpse that spawns at the bottom of one of these buildings, and we're just looking for her. And again, let me just quick layout thing. So it is generally laid out like this, where there's that initial section, and then post that initial section, there's the area with the little buildings, and the body is going to be at the base of one of these buildings, and the exit is kind of in a, it's laid out in a straight line. In this case, mine is laid out in that direction, like that way. So this image is just, it's accurate, but you just have to give it a 180. So here I am thinking, okay, I don't want to die. I don't want my 1 minute of shame. And here, I think, I don't know exactly what was happening here. I think I was getting a little bit frustrated with my life was maybe a little bit low, or my evasion rating. Here my weapon falls off and I don't notice, or I did notice. I did. I am smart. Just looking for weapons, spirits, anything, and then heading on through to Deshar. So preferably, by this area, having wind dancer would be really nice, but I think I end up just saying screw it. Let's leap slam our way through. And there's the fallen Dakara. We get the letter, and I'm thinking, okay, let's just get the hell out of Deshar. I hate this place. The XP is amazing. If you can handle it, the XP in Deshar is really, really good, but it is an area where you think maybe just like grab a level if you can and then get out. So now, Path of Mourning, a whole lot of buildings with circles. This area, there's not really a layout for it. There's some that we've seen in softcore like this that are very obvious, but then there's other ones like this where it's, I don't know. I'm just thinking get to as far on the other side as possible. Usually you find it, and you can leap slam over some of these. And then we're heading into Spires of Deshar. Now, this area, again, if you're new to speedrunning, prepare for pain, because this area is pretty hard. So I'm actually deciding to put on my Wind Dancer and just take my time taking on packs as I encounter them. But you'll see, I think I might even die a couple of times in here. Maybe not, hopefully not. But for this area, your options are either just leap slam through everything, like I'm doing now, or just, you know, the tortoise and the hare method, but be the tortoise. Don't try and go too fast. So I'm also looking, let me just speak about this, Sisters of Garukhan. So for Sisters of Garukhan, do not click this. Do not click this before you have fought the boss. When you click this, it spawns a whole lot of these little lightning statuettes, these little bird things that do a lot of lightning damage. If you click that before you've killed Torgal, getting through to this area, getting through this area is just going to be, it is such a massive pain, trust me. Maybe even do it just so you understand what I'm talking about. But now for the rest of this area, I am just going to the opposite side. So boss usually spawns opposite side. Every time I'm feeling a little bit scared, I'm just respawning at checkpoint. If your flasks are empty, you can respawn at checkpoint and then go to the waypoint. Use the checkpoint to go to the checkpoint by the waypoint, run over the waypoint, and that'll fill you up. So here I'm clicking, there I go back, right? So like I said, before I do Torgal, I just go back. Then I do the Sisters of Garukhan, and now we do the boss. So this guy, don't let that happen. Alrighty. Now we move on to the Dreadnought, and you're going to see why I've been speaking about this so much. So at the end of the Dreadnought, there is a section where there is a guaranteed magic monster, a double magic pack spawn right next to a checkpoint. And so what we're going to do now is we're just going to leap slam right to the end of the Dreadnought, ignoring as much as possible. And then we're going to get to that checkpoint, kill the magic repeatedly, over and over and over. So let me just speed it up. We're just getting through here. Panic, respawning at checkpoint. There we go. And now you will see the tech that everyone has been doing. Hopefully this doesn't get patched, but it probably will get patched. Here's the checkpoint, right? So I'm getting this checkpoint, Dreadnought Vanguard, and now we are in leveling mode. So for this area, this is area level 31. If you are too low level, you're going to be getting a massive XP penalty. So I usually aim like at least level 24 for this area. Otherwise, you're going to be getting like, I don't know, 5% XP efficiency. It's very, very low. Very, very low. So get 24 here, and then you'll see the XP is just bananas. But it's also kind of rippy. So those guys, lightning damage. There's also guys who do big physical damage. There I'm just like, did I take them on? Yeah, I did. Watch the XP. I'm going to go a little bit faster. There we go. And now we are looking for... There's kind of two things I need before I know I can proceed, right? So the first thing is that the next tier up weapon, Steelpoint Staff, which I can equip at level 28. And then also what I need is a decent flask, a decent life flask. So this flask I have over here is a level 23. It requires level 23 to equip. If I get that and I get increased amount recovered, then I know my flask is okay. But if I don't get this flask, level 23 flask with a good roll, I'm going to have to push on to level 30 because we get another life flask, another tier of life flask at level 30. And that one I will attempt to roll. But you need a decent life flask, especially for Act 3. So if I don't have that by level 28, even if I have a good staff, then I will not proceed. Also, the steel point, if I don't have a good steel point by level 28, I will keep pushing until I hopefully get one either from a vendor or a drop, or just I get a white one and then use an alchemy or trance self-crafted. So those are the two things, decent flask and a decent weapon. So here we go. I level up, kill this, and I'm going to pop back to town. And again, just looking for a weapon. I think at this point I'm level 25. So there's that. Movement speed boots, obviously very important. And yeah, so we just repeat this process over and over and over until I have the things I need. And again, let's just see what we're looking. We're salvaging, looking for a weapon. I remember finding this. So good. It is a high evasion rating chest with spirit. Absolutely perfect. So good. And 2 sockets. I was so stoked when I found that. So This thing, absolutely worth crafting on. But if you get something like this, do not just throw all your currency at it. I don't even think I use a Regal on it yet because it has the main mod I want. I am going to org it, so it has an open suffix. So we org it, and now we can run both our Herald of Ice and our Wind Dancer. So again, holding on to the currency for now, because number one priority is just weapon. We need to have a good weapon going into Act 3. If we have any leftover currency after we get our weapon, then I will probably throw all of it at that chest because the chest is so good. Storm Rune, kill this dude, and just rinse and repeat. Looking for that Steelpoint stuff. I think it won't spawn until we're closer to level 28 and we level up. And again, just check the vendor. And yes, okay, this is such a good helmet. So looking for life resistances, fire resistance in Act 3. You'll see once we get to Act 3, very important. But life resistance and evasion rating, all very helpful. Armor also very helpful. So I think I saw that and I was like, hell yeah, that is a good helmet. Just checking for upgrades every time. And also checking Zarka. There's probably a point where you can say, my gear is good enough. I don't need to keep checking the vendors, but I am not at that point. Especially, I don't have my steel points. So here, we're going to just keep doing this over and over and over and over and over. Hopefully they don't patch this out. And here, you see, this is when we start getting our steel points. So I'm level 28 now. I see this, just a white one. And now I've got all this currency that I've saved up, right? So the thought process is I have enough for a transmute, org, regal, and then if it's almost like I have 2 attempts at getting a decent steel point, and then with the alchemy I have 3 attempts at getting a good steel point. So, and then I also have my two of these. So what I'm probably going to do, I think I initially just go for the alchemy, because I think if I hit it, I've got all this other currency left over I can use on my other gear. So I think, yeah, Alk it, and I look at this and I think, is this good enough? It's kind of bad, but I think I end up going with this. It has lightning damage. It has a bit of fizz, and we can. I think I say like, you know what? I think that's actually fine, and it did turn out being fine. So with a couple of slams, we didn't really get anything good with the slams, but a couple of sockets, also quality. Here, I think I put in a desert rune and then give this in quality as well. It is enough damage. So that's the, I guess, the whole reason I've make sure that you understand the concept of currency management. If I had been spamming all of this on other stuff, I might not have had it for this, which is what we really need. So I'm thinking now I've got a good flask. I have a decent enough weapon. I can go on. And I've got all this extra currency that I can use on my chest and my helmet and stuff. So yeah, blasting on to Act 3. It might have, because of how quick it is to level in the Dreadnought, it actually probably would have made sense to just push to level 30, because with level 30 we get the new flask, we get a couple more really impactful skill points. But I remember thinking, I need 3 more skill points to get the primary notables that I'm going for. I'm going to get 2 from the monkey in the first area of Act 3. And then I will probably level up along the way to get that 3rd point. So that's what I'm thinking. Level 28 works. And here we are just leap slamming throughout the whole thing and hoping to not die. Something I haven't mentioned, so for leap slam, I'm dodge rolling at the end of every leap slam. It's just a little bit safer. You get those iframes at the end of it. So leap slam roll, leap slam roll, leap slam roll. And we are just going to the boss. Now for Jamanra, having a decent amount of lightning res, very, very helpful. But still, paying attention to her attacks, also very, very helpful. So let's just let this play out once she's done the Yap Sesh, or he. Bell, it looks so slow now. I've been playing in such fast speed. Insta phase. So as you can see, the weapon's good. Actually, one mistake I made is I should have put in a rune. I was thinking I wanted a desert rune in my staff, I think, but I forgot that you could replace runes. So I was thinking, oh, leave it open in case we get the desert rune. But I think I might realize shortly, oh wait, we can replace runes now. So yeah, using the Topaz Charm just for this fight. Oh man, that was so close. And there we go. There is Act 2. So if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully this wasn't too fast, but I didn't want to drag it out for super long, but hopefully you get the idea. And like I said, if you have any questions, just ask in the comments. I'm going to link the campaign codex, which is sort of a Path of Exile 2 layout and speedrunning Discord that I started with Guitaraholic. And yeah, come in there, ask questions, learn. It's all a process of improving. You can see there, I realized, I have this regal. I'm going to use it on my chest. And here we spam. After speaking to Sin, you can actually save and exit and log back in, and it can save time. But if you have long loading screens, it's normally just quicker to run back and speak to Asala on the way to Act 3. So the next video, we're going to be blasting through Act 3 and finish up this series. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I will put out the Act 3 video very soon. All right. Have a lovely day. Bye.